That's a cheap giveaway. Back to Jason De Jong. James Young Osman. Back to Phil. Phil's a great crosser of the ball. Here's another good one. The referee has stopped it. It's a goal for the Philippines. 1-0 to the offside.
Several years before 2010, they never really got noticed for the efforts that they did until that win in Hanoi. When I started recruiting players, I went around different schools. I had no takers. Nobody wanted to play for the national team because they had more fans watching UAAP or NCAA games. And they were more popular there than playing for a team that was losing horribly. We were hoping that at least we got into the final. It finally stepped into the group stages. That was the biggest expectation that we had. It caught everybody by surprise. Well, the whole world by surprise.
Especially us here, because no one expected.
Nobody expected that.
We didn't expect it either. I mean, to be honest. So it was, you know, the feeling was good. I mean, I think I got caught on TV. I rushed to the camera and just say, yeah.
After we qualified from the group and made history, like we flew back to the Philippines and we saw the people waiting for us, like, and obviously like some of the media wanting to interview some of the players, and it was like, yeah, this is what we've worked, what hard work is, being recognised. So it was really great, and yeah.
I definitely felt when we came back, yeah, there was a lot more attention on us. When we arrived at the airport, there was media there. There was people obviously there to welcome us back. And then, you know, we had various interviews that we had to be at, and then you realise when we were doing a training session, I remember being at the University of Makati and it was a full stadium to watch our training session. So for that to happen, you know, from having no people at our games to having a full stadium at our training sessions, you know, that's when, you know, you look around and you realise what has really happened.
I think to bank on the popularity of the ASCALs to develop the sport would be disastrous, to say the least. I think a lot of education, a lot of exposure, and a lot of work has to be done by the organization, by the PFF, so that it is the sport itself that is promoted and not just the national team.
There's attention, but in terms of like, I think people like not aware of where football is here at the moment. The ones who got to know it, they knew the ASCALs, but I think they're not quite familiar with what's going on with Philippine football at the moment. We get the number one question we get asked actually is, when's our next game? And yeah, we have to inform them and let them know.
I think for Philippine football, yes, there's definitely a decline in the interest and the awareness of what's actually going on in Philippine football right now. We used to be able to, I mean, remember World Cup qualifiers in 2012. I remember, yeah, filling the stadium here. Now it's very difficult to get a few thousand people here. So a lot has changed in the time. I think in terms of me and James personally, there's still the name recall. You know, when we still get recognised when we go out for being involved in football and being part of the national team. So in terms, yeah, for us personally, I still feel we are recognised for what's transpired over the last 6 7 years. But definitely for Philippine football, it's there has been a decline.
That's for us. That's extra motivation. We know things don't last, but we really want to. It gives us new goals, and we really want to. Me and Phil, we're a lot older now, and I think we're the senior guys in the team. We're not one of the young ones now, and we have to help the young guys and help. We want them to play in front of 50,000 people and experience what we did and make more history. So I think that these are new goals and more motivation for us.
Raised in Argentina or Brazil, these kids learn how to play on the street. Here it doesn't happen. Kids are playing basketball on the street. So if kids want an outlet to play football, especially if you're in Manila, you're having to go to a field like this, and obviously you have to rent the field. You have to pay fees for joining a club or an academy. So it isn't a sport that, unlike in Europe or unlike in perhaps in South America, that it is a sport for the masses. Here, that's basketball. Essentially, what we're trying to do is promote the sport to the kids, and whether it's kids who are just looking to improve, kids who are looking to have fun and enjoy it, or kids who genuinely aspire to want to become a professional player or an ASCAL themselves. It's important that we provide the platform for these kids to have fun, to enjoy the sport, and also to learn and develop, to achieve whatever they want to achieve. Now I see there are football schools, there are academies all over Manila. There's some very competitive teams. There are some really good quality coaches that are here now, and you can see that in the grassroots football, in the youth leagues, in the schools football. You see a lot of talented players. So I think that's testament to post 2010, the people who've come over here and the work that they've done. They've really tried to develop grassroots football, and I definitely think the standard of football is improving amongst the younger age groups.
Well, of course, for football to flourish, football to improve, we should have a good grassroots system, because this is where the players are becoming from. We have a lot of grassroots players all over the country. Every festival that we have, there are always a lot of kids. So it's encouraging to see kids that are playing, not only in Metro Manila but all over the country. Because really the role of the PFF is really to promote football, develop football. So I think we really have to develop from the grassroots and just graduate to the youth, so that later on we have more players playing from the national team or for the club teams. So once they're with the club teams, it's the club teams that will take care of them. But while they don't have clubs or they don't have professionals, it's a duty of the PFF to create the necessary tournament for them, the training for them.
We need to focus on being able to market the sport, because it's not like basketball where there's a point every minute or two. Here, you need to appreciate how a point or how a score is developed, or how it's built up. I mean, that's the beauty of the game. The excitement in football is not just in the goal scoring. I mean, of course, that is the ultimate statistic that we want to see. But part of the beauty is really on how you attack together as a team, or how you defend, and how you're able to create scoring opportunities. Maybe they don't score, maybe you don't score, but people who are into football appreciate how a play is developed, or how an offensive attack is developed, and that's. I hope people will get to understand, but it takes education and it takes a lot of exposure to the sport, and that is something that we have to work on. I think the performance of the national team is still important insofar as influencing the young kids are concerned, or influencing the youth players. but in time, we would have developed a lot of players who really love the sport, not just because of the national team. And I think this will go hand in hand with the development of the clubs. I mean, the most popular teams in the world when it comes to football are not really national teams. These are clubs like FC Barcelona, Manchester United, Chelsea, Real Madrid. I mean, these are clubs, and I think once we develop the clubs in each region, we will find a following that is as good as the ones we see on TV when it comes to English Premier League, when it comes to La Liga or FC or Ligue 1 in France. So we hope to get to that level soon.
For me personally, being so invested in youth football, I would always love to see more being done. But you know, I think it's important not only to rely on the Football Federation or the government. You know, we as players and we as academies and clubs, we have an active responsibility to try to promote the sport ourselves. You know, and we can't be leaving everything to the government or the Football Federation.
So, like, I think it's up to us to lead by example, and I think like yes, we said it earlier, there's been a decline in the interest in Philippine football, but I mean, I don't like to give up personally. I always like to keep going, and I said if there's something like that happens, I look at it as a new challenge, a new way to keep me motivated. It keeps me hungry, keeps me working hard.
We always identify three things with Philippine football sustainability. I mean, we identified grassroots, a professional league, and national teams. So if they need to all work together, and if you're missing one, there's always going to be, you know, a weak link. And for football to grow, you know, you need all that working together. Yeah, it is detrimental to just focus on one. If you're relying on the success of one team to promote Philippine football, that's dangerous because yeah, if you don't get success, then the sport suffers. Where we go from now, you know, that's up to everyone involved in Philippine football to think about and try and grow step by step again. Who knows? Maybe one bit of success with the national team, it could boom again. But I think it's important that we make sure all those three things I mentioned are working together.